The Canadian city of Barrie lies on the shores of Lake Simcoe, an hour's drive north of Toronto. The historic waterfront is central to the city's tourism industry, while the downtown area is a growing centre for fashion and arts. Like most Canadians, the 130,000 population are passionate about sport, especially ice hockey. The local team are the Barrie Colts, and they regularly attract over 4,000 fans to the Molson Centre. The Colts play in the Eastern Conference of the Ontario Hockey League, or OHL, one of three major junior leagues in Canada, and a rung below the NHL. 17-year-old Aaron Ekblad is a defenseman for the Colts and one of the hottest prospects in the league.
My whole family liked hockey and liked watching it, and we grew up around it, and of course we live in Canada. That's what we do, right? That's a stereotype. I didn't feel like I was being forced into it. I always loved the game. I have a passion for the game, and at a very young age I knew that. I did.
Having played minor midget league hockey for the Sun County Panthers in his native Belle River, Aaron was always destined for greater things. The OHL is usually for 16 to 20-year-olds, but at the age of 15, Aaron became only the second player in the history of the league to be granted exceptional status, enabling him to be drafted a year early. Despite his age, he was the #1 pick. Dale Howardchuk played 16 seasons in the NHL and is now head coach of the Barrie Colts.
I saw him playing minor midget, and there was talk that he might have the potential to gain exceptional status and be drafted into our league. And first time I saw him, I knew right away. I said, he is a special one, and he's been a big force for us ever since. But he's one of those players when you, at first glance, for me anyways, it was like, he's a blue chipper.
The Colts have seen much success with Ekblad in the team. Last season, they won the Eastern Conference and made it to the OHL finals, losing narrowly to the London Knights. Thanks to the 6'4" teenager, the team have the best defensive record in their conference this term. But Aaron isn't just about defense. His 8 goals and 13 assists this season show that he's a key player going forward as well.
As a defenseman, I like to play more of a two-way game. I'm a defensive defenseman at times, and I'm an offensive defenseman as well, meaning I'll keep pucks out of my net as much as possible. I'll be, I guess, on the back end, trying to push pucks up the ice, make sure no guys get around me. I'll also be playing things like the power play and stuff like that, trying to score goals. I more or less like to support the rush coming up the ice and try and score goals, as well as set up other players for goals.
Now in his 3rd OHL season, the 17-year-old is one of the more experienced players on the roster at the Colts despite his young age. His maturity, both physically and mentally, have marked him out as a strong leader in the team. So much so that Howardchuk has entrusted in him the captaincy for the season.
His on-ice kind of speaks for itself, but off the ice, it's hard to meet a better quality person. I think every guy in our room loves him and has a lot of respect for him and his game and the way he carries himself. And he works just as hard off the ice as he does on the ice, and that's a good recipe for success.
For Aaron, becoming captain of the Colts is another ambition realised, and something that he believes he's ready for.
This is coming into my 3rd year in this league, and I know quite a bit about it. I know what it's about. I can let the rookies know, and if anyone needs a question, they can come to me for answers, of course. But I'm very excited to be the captain of this team. I mean, it's been a lifelong dream to captain an OHL and then, of course, an AHL team to get there. And those have always been my goals, and they're kind of dug deep in the back of my head. And just reaching that goal today has been a great time.
Next year, Ekblad will be eligible for the draft once again, this time the NHL one. For the rest of this season, scouts from the league's top teams will be coming to Barrie to keep an eye on his progress. He's undoubtedly a potential NHL star, and if he has another strong season for the Colts, many in the game are tipping him to be the 2014 #1 NHL draft pick.
I know that if I train hard in the gym and I work hard on the ice and I do all the right things, and with the help of my teammates, I can succeed and be a high draft pick. But again, it's one of those things I want to keep on the back burner. Right now, I'm focused on winning a Memorial Cup and winning the OHL and then winning a Memorial Cup with the Barrie Colts. So again, not something I like to worry about too much.
No matter his position in the draft, when the NHL comes calling, the teenager will almost certainly have to move away from Ontario. Having already relocated 400 kilometres from home as a 15-year-old to play for the Colts, he'll end up at one of the 30 NHL teams across North America, only 2 of which are in his home state, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators.
I don't really have a dream team. I grew up watching the Detroit Red Wings. I grew up watching a lot of great players throughout the league, and I have no discrepancy about who I want to play for. I want to be in the NHL, and I want to make my mark. I want to have a long, prosperous career with a lot of great people and a lot of great teams. I'm very excited to be put in this position to challenge myself, be in the OHL, be 1 year away from my draft year. A lot of kids would dream to be here, and I know it's my job to work hard to show that I can be here. I want to work as hard as I possibly can, and obviously if I do, then I'll have that opportunity, and whatever team that does pick me is going to get a hell of a hard-working guy.
Whilst he still has some way to go to make it to the NHL, there's no doubting that this young defenseman from Belle River has all the right attributes to make it to the very top of his sport. On top of that, he has the right team of people behind him. Coach Howard Chuck is a Hockey Hall of Famer, and Aaron's agent is Bobby Orr, one of the greatest hockey players of all time, who was also thrust into the NHL limelight as an 18-year-old.
They're just kind of guiding me through. They're laying down the line as to what I need to do. They're making it very obvious what I need to do, and if I work hard and I stay away from trouble, that's what's going to lead me to a high spot.
Well, he should be a great NHLer. There's no question. There's a long road ahead, and a lot of things happen. But he definitely has that potential in that future for sure. I think I can see him being a standout defenseman in the NHL for a long time.